I would like to talk about what happened last night and this morning. That always sounds weird coming out just saying that sentence. I'm like, what if they take it wrong? So I was in bed. I was doing my color by numbers as always. And I started becoming aware that between my shoulders and hips, my body was lightly vibrating. And it was so light that it's a miracle that I even noticed it. So I'm laying there thinking, oh wow, they're doing something, and I'm on my phone because that is very, very slim. Because they don't usually do that. Sometimes they do though. And so I looked around, didn't see anything. My curtains were red. And for those of you that are new, I have blackout curtains in my bedroom. And with some visits, not all, my black curtains turn red. I don't know why. And to tell you the truth, I want to even say that I looked in my living room and it was red. And for those of you that are new, usually when I have certain visitations, my living room will light up red. And there's no night light in my living room. And I have blackout curtains in my living room too. Also, the red demon looking being that could not get through my bedroom doorway was lit up in red. So I don't know if they're all tied together. I have no clue. But anyway, back on track. So I'm laying there feeling that and looking around. There's nothing around that I see. And I noticed the curtains. And then I raised my hand up in the air. And I went around my body, all around it like that, thinking it would break the vibration that I was feeling. And no, it kept going. And I'm like, oh, that's odd. Because usually if your hand goes through something, it breaks. If you know what I mean. Like, let's just say the vibration, if it was coming to me, you would think your arm going through that, it would pause, at least temporarily. But it didn't. And then I'm going to tell you something. This was so weird. I was wide awake when that was going on. But shortly after, not even 5 minutes, maybe not even 3, I'm doing my color by numbers again. All of a sudden, my eyes get really heavy. And it starts getting heavier and heavier and heavier. I mean, quickly. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. And I have no doubt whatsoever that they were putting me to sleep. Usually I'm like, maybe they were putting me to sleep. No, this time they were putting me to sleep. And here's the strangest part of it. So sometimes I don't plug my phone in immediately. But when my sleeping pills kick in, I'll plug it in and then go to sleep. Well, my eyes rolled up in my head. And I'm not joking. They were literally rolled up in my head, and I knew my eyelids were open. And I'm sitting there thinking, what is going on? And something kept going through my head. Trance, trance, trance. Don't know what that was about. So I kind of went with it, but I said in my head, hang on a second, I got to plug in my phone. I don't even remember plugging in my phone at all. But I could not see. I want to say that I seen images, but I don't remember what they were. But I'm laying there for a good minute or two with my eyes up in my head, and I'm sitting there thinking, just go with it. Just go with it. And I was. And then I was out. This morning was the same thing. My alarm goes off and I hit snooze, and I have 3 alarms that I go through. And I think I usually always get the first one off, which is like 5:45, something like that. And I think it was the last one that was coming, or the second to last. My eyes did the same thing. And I'm sitting there in bed, wide awake, with my eyes rolled up in my head, and I know my eyelids were open, and I'm laying there kind of just going with it, thinking I'm doing this for a reason, but I don't know what that reason is. Just go with it, Alora. And nothing happened. At least I don't remember if anything happened. And I'm like, okay. And I had to get up. So I kind of, I guess, broke that, whatever I was doing, and just got up. And I want to say also that yesterday, I was going down, I thought this big old camper hit my car. I was parked next to a dumpster, and between my car and the dumpster is only made for a compact car. And I coincidentally looked downstairs and saw this big camper / van RV thing backing out. And I'm like, it better not have hit my car, because I never seen it in our building before. So I go downstairs to look to be sure. And on the way downstairs, I saw a prism. And I mean, a rainbow prism in 2 places. And I'm looking at it, and I look around like, what am I seeing? What's going on? And when you go down my stairs, you go down one way, then you turn, and then you go down the rest. Well, I had to go down and around, and I look in the same direction, and it was still there. And I'm like, okay, there's something there. And it was pretty high off the ground. It wasn't as high as the second story is, maybe midway between the first and second story. But I'm sitting there looking at it thinking, there's something there. And whatever's there, it's there for a reason. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't want to look stupid in front of people. They're going to be like, what is that girl looking at? So I go into my car and I look at it. There's nothing there. And I turn around, and this time I can keep looking at it because I'm walking toward my apartment. Still there, same place. And I'm like, okay, I started seeing orbs. Am I now seeing prisms? What's going on? But since then, I haven't seen any more. But I feel like I'm getting prepared for something. I'm not sure. I feel like, I don't know. I've seen around the same time as the orbs, I see silver sparks. It'll just like spark here and there. Wherever I'm at, I see it a lot. And it's not like, ding, 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 ding. It's like one here or there, one every so often while I'm focusing. Because as I've said in my other videos, you know how you sit and you kind of go off in la la land and you're just kind of in a zone. That's how I see a lot of my orbs. When the orbs first started coming to me, I didn't have to do that. Well, no, I think I did. But then there were times where I wasn't doing that, and they would come, and then there were times that I would. I felt like I just repeated, but you know where I'm going. But now, because I've been going through some mental downs, lows, whatever you want to call it, that I've been denying myself. I've been kind of like, no, I'm crazy. No, I'm crazy kind of thing, And I've been coming out of it back to my normal self again. That's funny, because my normal self, and I just heard your higher self. So, okay, back to my normal higher self again. And so I catch myself focusing, going into that la la land mode, and I see sparks every here or there or whatever. Yeah, that's what's going on in that category. And I want to add something. I kind of made a new friend, and I'm not going to say her name, but I'm pretty sure she knows, if she's watching this, that I'm talking about her. But she paints, and that's all I will say that she does, because I don't know if she wants me to talk about her at all. But as I've just said, I was pretty hard on myself a lot here lately, thinking that a lot of the visions I have, it's just off the wall. I'm not really a medium. the things that I see, or they're just all in my head. And I think that we can make it up. And I think that's what I'm doing, is I'm imagining, I'm making this crap up. And I've been really beating myself up about it. I mean, really beating myself up about it. Oddly enough, I started talking to her and I started opening back up. And this morning I was talking to her, and then it was a floodgate. And I was sitting there thinking, I wonder if she's a trigger. And what I mean by that is, I'm a trigger. When I'm around a specific starseed and they need a little bit of help waking up, they tend to do so. I have known one woman that turned out really bad for her. I didn't know it was a trigger, but she kind of went off so bad, so aggressively bad, that she actually had to be committed twice, I think. But that's neither here nor there. So I kind of like did this full-fledged reading kind of thing for what I used to do. And her father and mother came to me, or at least I think it was her father. I'm not sure. I want to say it was. I feel that maybe, I don't know. I always doubt myself, and I hate that. Why can't I be this positive, higher self being and know it and accept it? And it's because I was raised as a nobody. So that's why it's difficult for me. Being raised that way, it's very hard to go to the next level, which is, you know what I mean? So talking to her, every time I talk to her, my whole body just gets chills, and it kind of stays there. And I'm seeing things and feeling things, and I'm like, okay, she has to be a trigger. She has to be, because everything started coming back and flooding back. Even me seeing Ezekiel, I'm sitting there talking to her and I'm seeing Ezekiel. And I'm asking her because she knows things too. And I'm asking her if you have any message from him, and blah, 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 blah. And here he is in my mind, and I see him and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. But I will say this. She said something, and I'm like, okay, that is a confirmation. All this time, I thought I knew that Ezekiel was an angel. And he is. But he's a seraphim. Seraphim? I don't know if it ends with the M or N. I can't remember at this minute in time. But he's a good one. He's not malevolent. He's benevolent. I know that because I know him. She said she saw 3 wings on each side of him. But I was talking to her about him, and I'm like, yeah, I think he's an angel. And she's like, when you said that, I saw 3 wings on each side, maybe a seraphim, whatever. And that was like, okay, that's, I've been told he was a seraphim more than once. So that was confirmation. And then I'm like, no wonder. I don't know if that has a play in him being a very dominant man. But I'm not saying dominant as in it's going my way, not your way ever, nothing like that. He's just a man who's like in charge, and he's a protector. But he's very supportive and loving and caring. I mean, you name everything positive. That's who he is. It's funny because I'm talking about him like I know him, in which I do, but it's like my light went off, so I have to use my other one. So it's going to be kind of off a little bit. But it's like I know him. I'm talking about him like I see him in everyday life, and but yeah, that's my man. I just kind of want to talk about those things, and so I'm going to end this here. I love you guys tremendously. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to send each and every one of you love, light, and peace. Bye.